Now, one of the topics the Prime Minister had to explain to the media at his conference today was the superannuation scheme known as transition to retirement. It's traditionally allowed those aged over 55 and heading towards retirement to put money into super with generous tax treatment as they reduce their hours at work. But the budget means the money they put into super during that phase would be taxed at 15%. Well, that was the subject of radio presenter Neil Mitchell's repeated questions, and it wasn't something that Julie Bishop was prepared for.
That I'm asking a transition to retirement.
Those who are now coming into the stage of wanting to start putting away for their retirement.
Are you aware of the transition to retirement scheme?
Well, I'm certainly aware that we have one, yeah.
How does it work?
Well, Neil, this is obviously a gotcha moment. You want me to go through...
No,
it's not my portfolio.
And this is the hole in your whole logic. You're saying it's only 4% of taxpayers. You, Josh Frydenberg, neither of you understand transition to retirement. That's clear. And this is where you're hitting average people, not the fat cats, the average people.
Well, I don't accept that that's the case because I've had a briefing on this and I'm told that 96% of people are either better off or are not affected by it.
I should suggest you have a closer look at the briefing because that is clearly wrong, Minister. If you don't understand transition to retirement, you can't see that. The transition to retirement scheme affects somewhere between 80 and 500,000 people, and it's putting a new tax on them, a 15% tax.
Well, I've heard Kelly O'Dwyer speak on this. She's the Assistant Treasurer. This is her portfolio, and she said that that's not the case.
Well, she doesn't deny there's a 15% tax going on, and she doesn't deny that it affects some lower people on 70 grand are ringing me. It's hitting them. They're not fat cats, are they?
Neil, we have now put in place a far more effective superannuation scheme. And there have been changes, but they were necessary changes. I was talking to someone in Melbourne the other day.
But hang on, let's not avoid the issue. You may be right. Maybe they are necessary. My problem is that the government is saying it's only the 4% of fat cats. That is untrue. When I asked Josh Frydenberg, former Assistant Treasurer, he doesn't know. I asked you, former Shadow Treasurer, you don't know. I would suggest to you that the government doesn't understand what it's doing here.
Well, I don't believe that that's the case, Neil.
Well, explain it to me.
Well, we have put in place, in terms of non-concessional, we've put in place a cap at 500,000. The average balance that a superannuant has at present, going towards retirement, is about 280,000.
So always a tough place to be in the Neil Mitchell studio there at 3AW in Melbourne. Julie Bishop's leader, Malcolm Turnbull, acknowledged the complexity of the superannuation area and defended her in as much as he didn't appreciate the parallels that journalists put to him between Julie Bishop's mastery of that superannuation area and David Feeney's forgetfulness when he was caught short on some Labor policy detail last week.